start in our conversation today. But welcome to Self-FULLness Matters, where we take self-care out of the box to engage in conversations about the many ways to wellness. We discuss useful strategies to take time to take care of you because wellness is a right for all. It's not a privilege for the few. I am Coach Robin Renee, proprietress of Alpha to Omega Holistic Therapeutic Services, LLC, a wellness lifestyle brand with a mission to educate you on natural care for mind, body, and soul, to encourage mindful movement and empower you to be well. I hold spaces where Black bodies can freely breathe, move, and thrive. And in today's conversation, we're going to discuss faith and fitness with the Coach Caprice O'Brien. First, we want to say we're acknowledging Minority Health Awareness Month. That is this month. It is also World Health Day. Yes, it is also First Sunday. We got a whole bunch going on. And this is our disclaimer. We're not trying to convert you to nobody's religion. So you got to listen up. Listen up, we're talking about faith and fitness. And with no further ado, I will allow Coach Caprice to introduce herself and let you know what she needs you to know about her.
Well, happy Sunday. I'm excited to be here. It's also Stress Awareness Month.
Yeah,
So
look
we
at us.
go we gonna get the people together. I'm
The
excited.
things.
Absolutely. So like she was saying, my name is Coach Caprice O'Brien. I'm the founder of Excuse Free Fitness, where we help women in leadership release weight without dieting or leaving their home through faith and fitness.
All right.
That's me.
And what'd you say, Coach Caprice?
That's me.
That's you. Hey, girl, hey. And if you find value in anything you see or hear on this channel, we'd appreciate a like, a comment, a share, so that other people can know about what we're doing over here, especially in the Self-FULLness Matters podcast. And so in today's conversation, we're going to invite you to engage with us in the chat. Put your questions in there and we'll get to the questions that we see. And if you put some in after, if you're watching the replay, we'll come back and we'll answer those questions. So, Coach Caprice, besides the last 20 minutes, what was your what was your rose and your thorn from the past week?
Ooh, my rose is that I have been challenging myself to make different leaps in my business. So I'm really, really excited about that. It's really good resistance. I feel like my thorn is that it's not as sunny as I would like it to be. But no, it's been a great week. Like really, it's been a really great week. I love being challenged.
Well, my rose from the past week is I'm actually doing well. We're gonna talk about this. This is my favorite time of year, anyway.
Let's get
But I'm
into
actually following
it.
all of the stuff. I'm actually following all of. I mean, I got to get some more workouts in, but
Yeah.
I am. I've been doing those two. Well, for the past 5 years, and
Mm-hmm.
for you all, it's the 10-day green smoothie cleanse, and then Coach Caprice's book, Prayers Up, Weight Down. Where we'll discuss that in a minute. So I'm just really proud that I'm following all the instructions.
We love it. We love to hear
So
it.
sometimes you throw some, and you know what? Like making my smoothies, the very first day, I didn't have the protein powder, even though it's optional. But I was like, let me just go
Mm-hmm.
all in, right?
Yeah.
Then while I see your video, you need to have protein in every meal. I said, let me go give me some protein. That was my conviction. That was the Lord. Like, look, you said you was gonna do it right.
Yes.
So yeah, by day 2, I was good. I'm like, let me go get some protein powder. So because I don't care for that gritty taste, but what I got,
Yeah.
my plant is not gritty. It's not gritty at all. So I did get a good protein. So that's my rose. And my thorn, it really has been this weather. And so while I'm thinking all through the week, the older I get, the worse it gets for me here in the Midwest. If you guys don't know, we're in Illinois. But to be cold 6 months out of the year, that's just I don't think the Lord I don't think he intended that for me. I don't know.
Not
I
for
could be
me
wrong.
either.
Yeah. I come from a tropical people. We ain't used to this,
Truly.
This is madness, but that really has been a thorn for me because we're coming off of the ends of the winter season, and our cold is not just cold, but it's cold and gray. And then the last week has been cold and gray and rainy.
Exactly.
My grass being watered though. Thank you, G. My grass
That
is being.
works out.
I gotta find my silver lining. I have to find
We
my.
do.
So that was it for me. That was my rose, and it was my for the past week. So yeah, the weather. So let's get into this. So for the people looking, this is the J.J. Smith 10-day green smoothie cleanse, and I started doing both of these together. Was it 5? Yeah, 2019, like 5 years ago. And I've been doing them every year, but I'm proud to say I'm really sticking to. Well, I've been sticking to Coach Caprice's book, but I just have to get my smoothie life together because I'm thinking, oh, it's green, it got some fruits in it. No, I'm following the plan. I'm following the plan. And
Yeah.
Coach Caprice knows I only mess with her once a year with them high knees. She knows that, you know that. But the work. So I'll give you my synopsis of this book. This book is a journal. It's actually a 30-day journal. And I mean, the workouts, if you do them and if you're concentrating on doing them while you're doing them, it should take 30 minutes. I mean, if you need to
Hmm.
take breaks in between, then that is fine. But like realistically, if you're putting in the work, oh, these are readers. That's I'm like, why am I busy? Okay. So if you're putting in if you're putting in the work in the workouts, I mean, I don't know if you timed it like that or not, Coach Caprice, but on average, it should be 30 minutes or less. If you're just getting in, like, look, I got to focus. There are pages in here with journal prompts if you need to write, after the chapters. It starts off with scripture. And that's why I wanted to talk about this whole faith and fitness journey, because a lot of people don't, either they don't realize it or they don't connect the two or understand that the two can actually work together to put you on the pathway to be your healthiest self. And so this is just so fitting to have the actual author of the book here with us. And so my first question for you, when you're dealing with clients, and especially with the group that you had with the Prayers Up, Weight Down group,
Hmm.
like how do you help clients to see past religion when they hear the word faith and fitness or faith in fitness?
That is a phenomenal question. How do I help clients see past the religion? Well, one, I just remind them that like your relationship with your body, your relationship with fitness is so similar to your relationship with God, your relationship with Christ. So it's like I don't do anything, religiously except drink water, okay? So I just remind them, and what's interesting is I haven't had this that many issues, right, where it's just there has been misaligned or not aligned clients that like don't understand like what prayers up way down is. But I do my best to just like say, hey, I want you to have a good relationship with yourself, and starting and creating a good relationship with yourself, creating a good relationship with your body starts by creating a good relationship with your creator. So it's like when you know who you are, when you know whose you are, when you know that you're fearfully and wonderfully made, when you know that like God knows how many hairs are on top of your head, you start to move differently. You start to make different decisions because whatever we believe, we're going to make decisions based on that. So if we believe like this is nothing is ever going to work for me, I'm always going to be unhealthy, we're going to make decisions based on that belief about ourselves. But if we start to believe that God, we are made in God's image, and it's like, okay, well, God is everything. Okay, God made the sun and the stars. Okay, God is like out here taking care of butterflies and ants that don't do anything, don't contribute to the world at all. But I'm contributing to the world. I am doing something, so I know that God is going to take care of me. And I get this one house to keep my spirit, to keep my soul, to protect myself. So it's like who would I be to not take care of it? Who would I be to not try to have a better relationship with food, because that's not the real enemy, right? So I really just think it starts with like having a knowing that it's all a relationship. Like we don't have I'm not telling you to set an alarm to pray. I'm not. I mean, if you need to do that, by all means, okay? Because sometimes we got to remind our brain. But I'm not.
Right.
I'm not. Having you do anything. That is in any religious nature, but to help you build a habit of spending time with who made you, who created you.
Okay. So, okay, so if I can reframe that, would it be the same as like the energy you create around anything in your life is the energy that you draw?
I believe that. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's sort of
Well,
like the reaping and sowing. If you're reaping all this negativity out, and it's like it's so hard, it's so hard, it's so hard. Because at least for me, when I find out if I dwell in that space, I make it like so unnecessarily harder. And sometimes I have to just start laughing at myself, like girl, quit tweaking, like stop
yeah.
it. You ain't gotta do all that. You gonna get through it. And it's just
Yeah.
because one, I'm really not tapped in. And
Yeah.
that's me being honest. I'm really not. I'm just kind of doing it robotically because it was a part of a program, and that's part of the reason why I kind of not kind of I do. I move away from those programs or those challenges in that sense because I'm in it for the long game. Like
Yeah.
I'm hitting them, I'm shooting for hitting them triple digits. And I can't do that in 90 days, right? I'm not. I mean, my game plan is to wake up on my 100th birthday, know who I am, whose I am, where I am, dress myself, get up, walk. I don't know if I'll be driving. Maybe I'll have a driver. But anyway, but I want to know the things, and be able to feed myself. I want to be mobile. I want to be flexible. I want to, have my heart, pumping the way that it should be pumping. It may be pumping a little bit slower because I will be a century old, but
Yeah.
that's where, that's my long game. That's what I'm shooting for. And so for me to create that kind of energy in the short steps, that's making it so unnecessarily hard. I mean, so that's for me.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that. I like that you're like forward thinking. Like my mission with this is for it to, be something that you do again, right? Like you do it again and do it because like yeah, like you drank all your water yesterday, but we gotta drink some more water today. Like yeah, like
Right.
you read you know Ecclesiastes yesterday, but I want you to read that again and try to read it and try to receive something differently from it from this time you're reading it. So it's one of those things where it's a long game. Like this is a long journey. Yes, we are. What's up? It's a long journey, right? Like, and it's like, okay, I want you to be fit for the rest of your natural born life. So how do we start adopting things that allow you to stay consistent? Because when we have a religious mindset, it's similar to dieting because it's so many restrictions. Religion makes us feel like we're in a box. Dieting makes us feel like we're in a box. So if we start creating a relationship with our creator and with the avenues and the resources that he's allowed us to take care of ourselves, then it's a win.
A win-win. So then where does motivation fit with faith? Because you have people who want accountability partners. My question when it comes to that, that's another thing I shy away from, is accountability part. Because I just be feeling like it's a group project, man. If you're in school, you have to do a group project. And
Ah,
I've been doing all the work. I'm like, I don't want to be your accountability. like,
that is so
but
funny.
when people say, well, I need someone to motivate me. I mean, where is it coming from in you if you're looking for it outside of you? So how does faith impact motivation or motivation impact faith?
Whew, okay, so motivation is such a trigger word. It's such a like, it's so deep. But I think that like many times when you aren't motivated to do something that you need to do, you haven't dug deep enough to find a why, an intrinsic value that will get you up out of bed because you know like when you take action then you get results and then you get motivated by the results that you receive from the action that you took. Many
Mm,
times we think that okay, like I'm going to be motivated and then I'm going to take action and then I'll get results, but it doesn't work like that because motivation is fleeting, right? Like it's here today gone tomorrow. It's like snow in Atlanta. Okay, it's not going to last.
right.
So I think that faith and motivation, you just kind of have to be honest with yourself because are you always motivated to pray? Are you always motivated to read the word? Are you always motivated to, intercede for someone or to journal or to just like sit still and say, hey, I've been moving for 72 hours. I just need to sit still and hear what God has to say, or just like let my mind be clear. We're not always motivated to do that, but we know the benefits from that. And we're able to dig another layer and say, I know that, I want to receive that love from my Father. I want to receive grace and mercy and unfailing love. And I don't have to do anything to receive that. But there are still disciplines and commitments and ways that we have to persevere in order to keep our faith strong. Because if I only take a shower every couple of days, I'm not gonna be clean. If I only pray every few days, I won't have a strong connection. I won't, have a strong relationship with God. So if you only eat vegetables every few days, we're risking this thing like depending on a spark. So I think that like you got to dig a little deeper. So like I think you should be able to ask yourself why 5 times, right? So like if I ask someone came up to me, and I know they're a woman of faith, and they're just like, look, I got it down. I know God loves me. I know God is nudging me to do something about my wellness, but I don't want to do it. So they may say I want to lose weight. Why? So I can feel better in my clothes. Why? So when I go to the meetings, I feel confident. Why? It's like I want you to keep asking yourself why, because until you get like all the way on the bottom and say, you know what? I want to lose weight because I want to feel good in my clothes, because I want to show up to the boardroom confidently, because I want to show my daughters and my nieces that women can be in leadership, and I want to show my kids and my coworkers that you can take care of yourself even when you weren't before. Like, you can come out of whatever it is. So it's just like there's so many. Just keep asking why, and then you won't have to rely on motivation. It's going to be, you know what, like this is the self-love and the self-care that hits different when it's like, okay, I don't want to do this, but I know that I should do this. So I'm going to do this, because you don't want to balance your checkbook, but you're being fiscally responsible. That's financial self-care. So it's a matter of just asking why. Just keep asking why. If you can't find the bottom, like all the layers of the onion, whatever other vegetable is similar to, like, just keep peeling it back.
Keep peeling it back.
Just keep peeling it back. You got to be able to ask yourself why, and then set some non-negotiables so that you won't have to rely on being motivated.
Now, I like this. So while you're saying that, this is what I'm thinking. And this is not off the table, y'all. Vanity, if that's your motivation, work with it. Because you're going to look good in a two-piece thong on the white sand beach. So don't lie to yourself about the why. So the questions she's telling you to ask yourself are for you. You don't have to public post it. You don't even have to write it down. So if it's just, look here, I was a jet beauty of the week. I'm just saying, back in 1976, and I'm trying to get back in that bikini. If that's your motivation, use that to start. But what will begin to happen on your journey, a lot of other things are going to start to fall into place that will motivate you more to pick this up. Like, oh, okay, well, I can bend down and touch my toes.
Yes.
I can tie my shoes up, and I can see past this, I can bend down. Like, those are the kind of things that I can squat, hands on my knees, I can do all that. Like, hey, twerking ain't off the table either. If you want to lose weight so you can throw that thing in a circle, hey, we just saying, whatever the motivation is, those why. And I love that, Coach Caprice. You think about it as an onion, and to keep the why or a toddler, either one. The why, the why, the why, the why, the why. It takes you all the way down. So what I want you all to understand is, don't feel bad about your why, because it's your why. And if that's what's going to motivate you, then that's what you want to stick with. You don't have to share with anybody. You just bust out. Do your whole photo shoot.
Yes.
That long flying dress. Just snatch the dress off. Like, this is really why. Y'all thought it was the dress, but this is really why I wanted to do this. Do this that way. So that's really good to peel back the onion. And
because
also,
then it becomes.
go ahead.
I'm sorry. Because then it becomes less about what can I lose, and then like, what am I gaining?
Yes.
I'm gaining discipline. My skin clear. I go to bed and I got a less attitude with my coworkers. Like it's about what you are receiving, what you are gaining, than how much you're losing on the scale.
Nice. But what I was going to say, what you just said about women in leadership. So your professional career has emerged or has morphed into you focusing on women in leadership, and I want to know the why. What's the why behind that?
Absolutely. I love this question. It's like people don't ask me this a lot, so I'm really excited. So I, of course, I had, well, everyone listening, I had a brick and mortar gym called Excuse Free Fitness in the south suburb of Chicago for 4 years, and it was great. But I noticed that like the women who were needing my help continually, like who were staying with me for quite a long time, they have incredibly demanding jobs. Right? I'm talking teachers, directors, project managers, entrepreneurs, CEOs, right? So it's just like, how do I, and what I was noticing is I was helping them lose weight, but then they would gain it back in a few months, maybe 6-8 months. And I was like, okay, well, I want to help them release it. So if this is the person that I'm called to, and this is the person that I can clearly help, this is the person that I need to pay attention to. Because, and it's not like, it's not like I don't want to help guys, but it's just like, if my focus needs to be here, and if these women really need my help, and I've helped these ones over here, and I've helped them figure out like, okay, this is the missing piece. Accountability is the missing piece. Stop, saving cheat meals for the weekend is the missing piece. Then I want to help as many women just like that, because there needs to be way more wellness in the workplace. Way more. So if we start with what you're doing at home, now as a leader, you won't just like, let me go get some donuts for my staff. You gotta start thinking, I'm well, I want everybody else to be well. I'm gonna go get some fruit for my staff. At the next meeting, we don't need to order Jimmy John's. We can order something else because it starts with you. Because like when you change a woman's life, you can change the world. Okay, and
Listen,
especially women in leadership because they are able to make so many decisions. So it allows them to make better decisions for themselves when they're well. When
definitely.
they
You
are
can think
well,
clearly.
because you eat well, you move well, you're gonna work well.
You can think clearly. Yeah,
Yes.
that's good stuff. Yeah, so my path, well, for you all who don't know, I started teaching Pilates at Excuse Fitness with Coach Caprice, and that my journey as a teacher has emerged into me being with middle-aged Black women, and it wasn't that I set out to do that. It was the whole, I'm a new teacher. Pilates is for everybody, Pilates for everybody. But then I began to learn, and then especially on social media, being in the professional account status, you get to see your analytics.
Yep.
So as I'm looking at the analytics, I'm like, okay, so that was what the niche. I didn't niche down, but that was the population that organically gravitated towards it. And that's the population that I am intentional about making sure that I create whatever classes or whatever programs around that particular group. And I mean, like you said, I'm not opposed to men. I'm not opposed to allies. Let me put a pin in this because I got to give a disclaimer on this now. When I hold these sacred spaces, so I'm not creating anything. So let me take that word out. I'm holding just spaces. If you
Mm-hmm.
consider the space safe, if you consider the space sacred, that part is on you. I just want to make sure that I'm the one for Black bodies, where Black bodies can freely breathe, move, and thrive. That's intentional when I do that. Now, allies, you are more than welcome. I'm looking straight in. We'll see at the end. You are more than
Mm-hmm.
welcome to join any of our sessions, any of our programs, any of our classes. You want to drop in, and we do have some very good allies. And shout out to y'all. I mean, I appreciate. I got some riders that's been with me for some years. But
Oh.
what they do, they first and foremost respect the space that they're in. The dynamic of a non-Black person entering in the spaces where I am, and it's with anybody, but I'm going to speak specifically for me and for the groups that I deal with. Just your presence changes the dynamics. Unspoken, you don't have to do anything. Just you being a non-Black person stepping into a Black space, it'll change the dynamics. But you coming in respectful and you coming in open to learn along with us will actually make the dynamics a whole lot better. Not you coming in and you become a teacher, you in front of the class and you the front row diva. We're not. I said we put that disclaimer, but it's true. And
Yeah.
I do want our allies to understand that it's not that we're saying, oh, you can't come. It's just that when I sit down and create something, my concept is built upon the fact, how do I hold this wellness space where Black bodies can freely breathe, move, and thrive? That's where I build from. And you can see it publicly advertised. You will see other people that are not Black in my spaces, but that's the mindset that I'm in when I sit down and I create a program. So that's where I am. I'm in that space, and I'm standing on business. I'm in it. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I love it over here. I love it over here.
I love it.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay, so the prayers up, weight down. The motivation to create an actual book came from where?
Oh man, the motivation. I feel like I got like 4 or 5 more books in me. So that question was just like, okay, get back to being obedient. But I just believe that, like, like I was saying, I was at my gym. I had a brick and mortar space, fitness center, but it's like, okay, I'm limiting myself from with who I can help because I just got 4 walls right here. But if I can put the knowledge and expertise that I am giving to my clients in person in something tangible that they can take away with, whether they are in Argentina or Tennessee, then I need to see it through and I need to complete this. Because of course this was helping me. I had so many layers of the onion I need to put back in myself. Experiencing so much emotional weight, and I saw that like we aren't paying attention enough to the emotional weight. So if I can get this in the hands of as many women of faith, men of faith as well, that want to like live like freely and not be weighed down by their past decisions and all those things, then that's really what I need to do.
Good stuff. Okay, so
Absolutely.
if you had to create useful strategy value pack,
Yeah.
five things, five
Yeah.
things. And it's for the general population. So you haven't assessed anybody, you haven't had any conversation with anybody. It's at this boutique and it's on the shelf. And it's five, this is the
Absolutely.
bundle, right? This is the bundle. So five things for them to be successful on their, well, to successfully start a wellness journey. I'll just say that. A
Okay.
consistent
We
wellness.
go. And it's so crazy because I've been wanting to do something like this. I've called it like the excuse free at home kit. And so what I would put in here, I got my
We're gonna
favorite
claim it. Yes. You heard
Come on, Jesus. He heard it, okay? Make sure I heard it. I would put a water bottle, a yoga mat with exercises on the mat, like with workout, like you know what I'm saying? Like, can you
Mhm.
picture that? Like the yoga mat has exercises on it, like the
Uh-huh.
little demonstration. Okay, cool. We got the water bottle, we got the yoga mat with the exercises on it, and then I would add a journal, and there wouldn't be any prompts in the journal. But all the way in the back, I would add some I am affirmations, I will affirmations, I must affirmations, I'm so grateful affirmations, so we can get people in the practice of speaking positively over their life. Because when you start appreciating your body, you take better care of it, you treat it better. Number 5. This is so hard. Resistance band. A resistance band, but the resistance band with the handles, not the loop band. So we got resistance band with handles, yoga mat with the exercises on it so they know how to perform them. The journal, not me forgetting already.
Water bottle, journal,
No,
with no prompts, resistance band, mat. What was your number five?
I don't know. I don't think I had one actually. Because
Okay.
the affirmations was at the back of the empty journal. So yeah, I
Yes.
got 4.
Okay. Good stuff. So,
That's the at home kit. That's what you're gonna get started with.
and that's what you're gonna get started with. Okay. So for the things that are not tangible, they can't take it off the shelf. This is just
Mm-hmm.
what they have with them. So because I like when I operate, with Pilates, one thing I love about being that introduction to Pilates, being a mat instructor. I mean, I have reformer certification, but my choice right now on the journey that I'm on as a teacher, and as an individual, is to commit to the classical work on the mat, right? So
Yeah.
that's just you, Jesus, and your mat. But you can do it on the grass. So if the mat was gone, I'm still able to give them actual tools that they can use to take somewhere else. So you just have to give them something in their mind, some exercises that they can take with them. What would that be?
Okay, so exercises.
Uh-huh.
So if I could only speak and not say go by this.
Yes. So like say for instance, if you say walking, that's an exercise. So like,
Oh,
yes,
100%. Walking is so underrated. Oh my gosh.
it is.
I would definitely say you got 20 minutes for you. You
Okay.
got 20 minutes for you. And I would want that to be a walk. Go outside, look at the trees, take your podcast out, take the music and the noise out and be with yourself for those 20 minutes while you're moving your body.
So that's a mind, body, soul connection there, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 100%.
So that's gonna be the topper, right? So cardio.
Yes.
You include cardio in the walking, so they'll just change the speed. They can't, because I can walk. I can walk fast. So they can't. Or would you pick something else for cardio? Like when people say, "Well, I don't know what to do," because a lot of people that I find they are miserable running because they run with their friends who run, but they hate it. Like, well, why are you doing it? Like, there's so many other things
Yeah.
that you can do. That's what I mean. So if people have something that, like, well, I don't want to run because that's raise my hand. Amen,
Yeah.
amen.
One thing I'm gonna do is walk. Okay, I got you.
I'm walking.
So besides walking, I would recommend you get on a bike,
Okay,
whether it be a recumbent bike or a spin bike. A bike is really, really good.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I
What
recommend.
about?
Besides walking, because I'm gonna recommend walking to my clients every day of the
That's what
week.
I'm saying. So walking is, that's what I'm saying. Walking is the whole umbrella. Is covering everything, right? So walking. So then we got the bike. So what about for strength training?
Strength training, you just need a pair of dumbbells, just a very simple pair of dumbbells. Um, and are you asking me what exercises or like what I would tell them to go by?
What
Let me
type?
make sure I'm
And then
right.
we'll get into specifics. So what type? So if they don't have dumbbells, I'm just saying if you don't have dumbbells, you can go hood and get you two water bottles. I'm just saying, or get you
You
two
can.
gallons of water, 59 cents, and fill them up. And, yeah. You know,
Yeah,
you want to go way
absolutely.
jailhouse, you can get some plastic bag. I'm just saying, like, you want some time on the end of a stick. I'm just saying. I used to work at
Yeah.
the jail. I used to work at the jail.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, strength training, I would recommend, anything. I would I would recommend dumbbells, not gonna lie.
Okay.
But if you have anything that's weighted that allows you to add more resistance to the exercises, I think that's perfect because if we're not putting enough stress on the muscles, there will be no change. So I want you to step outside your comfort zone and get some dumbbells by moving your body.
Okay. Flexibility.
Flexibility, I think stretching 15 minutes a few times a week after your strength training would be recommended. But that would be great. 3 to 4 times a week, 15-minute stretch. You can stretch while you're watching Netflix. You can stretch while you're, responding to an email on your phone. Yeah,
Sure
15
could.
minutes.
You sure could. So walking is the umbrella that's gonna cover mind, body, and spirit. And we got
Hmm.
bike. What about bicycling outside? Is that okay too? You
Yeah,
doing your bike? Okay. So we got bicycling, we got the dumbbells for the resistance training, and then we got stretching. And you can do that in between your what's it called binge watching, right? And do binge
yeah,
watching. Hold a plank. Hold a plank till she come back. I'm just saying.
right.
It's like if you decide you're going to binge watch, some episodes. So if someone is having like in our community, which is true. I mean, I can't speak for a whole lot of other communities, so that's why you'll hear me speak more of from my experience in the Black community. These are things
Hmm.
that that I have experienced as a professional. I'm guessing you as well, Coach Caprice. But what about people who have mobility issues that have been corrected by surgery? So we're talking about hip replacements, knee replacements, shoulder therapies, like those kind of things. So what would be good for them because we know the older you get, you're losing that muscle. So how would you maintain that muscle mass or even start to gain some?
Yeah, absolutely. So even when you have restrictions or certain limitations, there's still so much you can do. So the first thing I want to encourage you to learn your body, like start learning and paying attention to your body. Listen to your physical therapist. Listen to your doctor. Listen to them. Listen to what they have to say. Print out those exercises that they're giving you, right? And then learn your body. And when I say learn your body, I mean like pay attention. So like actually do those exercises outside of physical therapy. Like once you get released, keep doing it because the same way you like the same things that you did to get healed you have to continue doing to stay healed, right? Whether you had a cast on a broken ankle or not. So but like when it comes to hip replacements and knee replacements, there's hope after that. Like there's so much more life after a knee replacement. There's so much more life after, pardon me, a hip replacement. So like once you start learning your body and paying attention to your body, you know, move in different ways, right? So start moving sideways, sometimes like allow yourself to be stretched without pushing yourself beyond your limits. But once you start paying attention to your body, like you can do modified squats, you could do modified leg extensions, you could do modified glute kickback. So I want you to pay attention to your body and like practice some self-compassion, like, don't be so hard on yourself and don't get so defeated by what you can't do. And like the list of them telling you you can't run, you probably weren't gonna run anyway. You probably didn't like running.
Right.
Amen. You don't even like running. Okay.
Right.
So it's fine. Just pay attention to your body and start rewarding yourself and celebrating your body for like these things that it can do after such, it could be a grueling recovery from that. So look at how you recovered and then, put into place what you can do so you don't run into any issues a second time.
Good stuff. Now I'm glad you said listen to your doctor because that brought up a whole nother thing in my
Please, please.
okay. Now this is to the peoples, and the peoples knows who they are, whether you've had a conversation with us or not. Go to the doctor. It's
Yes,
not flex to be proud that you don't go to the doctor. That's not cool. And if your doctor has prescribed you some medication, now one, you do want to find out about the medication, the side effects and all that, but don't just jump right up and say, well, I'm not gonna take this medication because they prescribed it to you for a reason, because you
yeah.
something that was missing, they got you in that space. Now,
Hmm.
whether the something that was missing was congenital, like you were born with it and it started to develop it, at an older, age,
Yep.
or it was something that you neglect. Y'all know what you out there doing. You know what you out there doing because we be seeing you posting this stuff. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But if you're out there and you're doing those things that have put you in that state where you need medication, look at it like this. This is one way of looking at it. Don't I'm not saying you have to, but this is one way of looking at it. Before you
Mhm.
jump up and say, I ain't taking that medication, does it make you do this? It make you, how you know it's gonna make you do that? You never even took it. You just jumped on there and said, I'm not gonna take that medication. But if you look at it like this medication is that mask that I need to put on when I'm on that plane. Like the
Yep.
medication can get you safe. Now you have some doctors, and one of my doctors shared this with me, and it makes so much sense talking about their specialty. They know what they know. So if it's a cardiologist, they know the heart. If it's a pulmonologist, they know the lungs, right? If it's a urologist, they know, the kidney, the renal system. So they know what they know, and they know how to treat it with medication. So they know what they're talking about when it comes to the medication. You have to be an active participant in that team. You can't just show up and go to the ER because you had something that happened to you and you're arguing with the ER doctor, and then when you go to your doctor that's been on your paper and you ain't never seen them, and then you say, well, I'm not taking this, but there's a whole lot that has happened that got you to that crisis state. You need to
Yep.
get safe first. So get safe first, get balanced first. This is one way of looking at it. I'm not saying this is what you have to do, but it's one way of looking at it. So you don't feel like Coach Capri said, you feel so defeated and you can't do this and you can't do because you weren't gonna do it anyway. But
Yeah.
that was funny though. So right. So when you look at it like that, like, okay, I've gotten myself into this position. Now, if it was something that happened that was genetic, you didn't get yourself there. It just happened. That's just the journey or the cards you've been dealt. But that medication can help you to get safe. Then you can start to do your research and your investigation into what natural methods or natural means that you can do, because something is getting things out of alignment, right? You can't just say, I'm not going to do it, because something in your test showed that this is off now. So you have to get it back. And you just saying, I'm not going to do it is not going to get it back on track. The other thing you want to understand about when you decide to go with a natural method, when you decide to go with natural means, think about a maple tree. Think about an oak tree, right? You know how long it's. No, as a matter of fact, think about a bamboo tree. If you don't know about bamboo trees, they stay under the ground for a long time, long, long time before they come up. So you're talking like almost five, I think it's like 5 years or something like that. But research it, y'all, help me out. But it's a long time before the shoots come up. And when they come up, those trees are solid. So you got
Nice.
to think about,
That's so good.
you got to look at the fact that nature takes a while. Medication is chemical, right? It starts from
Mhm.
natural means, and that's why you have it in the brown bottles, because there are some form of, in some medications, natural remedies that are in those medications. But medication has your body to do what it was intended to do. If you decide to go with a natural approach, the reason why there's so many different ways that you can go, because your body responds to different things different ways. The natural remedies are not medication. They're medicinal, but they're not medication, because they're not going to necessarily force your body into something. It's going to help your body on that healing journey. So it's the catalyst that helps you to move on that healing journey. So keep that in mind. Now, if you need to get safe, medication may be the way to go until you can find your balance, a stable footing to start to go into the natural remedies. And the other part, trees don't stop growing. I mean, unless they die, but
Yeah,
there are
that's good.
seasons. So you can't say, well, I'm going to take this medication for now, and now I'm going over here and drink this sour sop tea because that's a big thing. Or sea moss. Ooh, I got to put a pin here. Stop buying sea moss from everybody you see selling sea moss. Anyway, okay, let me come back. You don't know what you buy. You don't know what you buy. But I want you to think about that in that way. It's a natural method. If you look along the side of the highway, or you're driving past some mountains, or if you go, like all those trees, who Jesus watered that? You know what I mean? Like, who's out there watering all that stuff? So nature is beautiful, but nature takes a long time, but it's consistent. Seasons are consistent. They don't jump out of
Yeah.
whack. We have a few days that jump in. They may be cold, in a different season, but the seasons are very, very consistent. And we are so tied to the earth. And a lot of people don't make that connection, but we really are. So y'all be careful out there tomorrow while y'all trying to chase that eclipse from this. I'm just saying. Because yeah, our bodies are in alignment with the earth. But yes, yes. That's it. That's it for now. That's my spiel on the medication. Go ahead, Coach Priest. With the medication and
I think of course, like Coach Robin was saying, everything you hear, like eat the meat, spit out the bones. Like you know what's best for you, and then you're going to continue to educate yourself. But feel free to I'm not a medication person myself, but it is what it is, and I have to take it due to, my health. And so, I want to encourage you to advocate for yourself. If like you would give one specific diagnosis, and then they're prescribing you with this, be okay with saying, hey, what's the plan to get off of this? How long am I going to be on this? What do I need to do in my, like, what can I do? What can you advise me to do in my life that can decrease the amount of time that I need to be on this medication, right? Because
Yeah.
that way there's a means to an end. Like, we're gonna wean off. Okay, I'm gonna get safe, like Coach Rob was saying, but then, like, how do I start, implementing what practices can I implement that'll allow me to not have to, take these for a decade?
And when they give you the plan, don't be up there arguing. I mean, you got to do it. It's work. It is
Yeah,
work. And then, once it has started, and then you don't want to put yourself in a position that you go into overdrive. You're taking, if it's medication, if you're taking the medication and you all of a sudden stop. Because a lot of times people will have, cardiac incidents, and they're taking, high blood pressure, medication, or, whatever it is, they're taking, and they decide, well, I'm not taking this no more because I'm busy. Like, well, yeah, those side effects may happen, but what can you find to kind of help you get your balance before you just abruptly stop? You ain't calling no doctor or no nurse or nothing. You just stop, and then you end up, in the hospital, and then they find out, oh my God, like your blood pressure is, you're
right.
at stroke level, at that point, because it's something that, you heard that happened to somebody else. Like, well, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not taking this because I heard it'll do, but how do you know it's gonna do it for you? And the side effects of medication, they have to, I be asking my doctors all kinds of questions. They be like, well, I did have one doctor years ago. She was like, girl, when I see your name, I'm like, Lord, let me go study. But I keep my notes. Like my notes are consistent. So by the time I get there, oh, you gonna work for these 7 minutes. Like, cause I get, hold up.
Yeah,
I got hold up. Yeah, I'm gonna write. Yeah. But what else to say about the medication? The side effects that you see on there are some common ones, which will be the ones that you see first. But when you see a long line of side effects, they have to put down every side effect that was reported in the study that
yeah,
they did for that medication. So if
right.
one person had an eye twitch and they tested 1 million people, eye twitching is going to be on it. So you're gonna be like, I got
Yeah,
this, I got that, I get so understand that about the side effects. So it doesn't mean you're gonna get them. It's just that when the medication was in the trial periods, they have to put down every side effect. And generally, the major side effects come within the first 4 or 5. Like the ones you be hearing on the commercial and talking all fast. Your eyes gonna pop out. Your foot is gonna twist. Your fingernails gonna turn green. Like you be like, wait, hold on, wait. And you try to be winding the TV. Like, what you say? Yeah, those
yeah,
those are probably the most prevalent ones that are common to that medication. But it all depends on where your body starts. Like everybody is not starting at ground zero. Some
yep,
people have a glitch. So we talk about the heart. So let's talk about the heart real quick. So the heart is a muscle, and those are electrical pulses. So
yep,
when you think about a short, if you get a short in your house, right, you got to go down and flip your circuit, or if you still got fuses, and you unscrewing the fuse and putting it back in. That's a glitch, right? So it doesn't mean you starting from behind the 8 ball. Something could have happened. It could have been a viral infection that made the heart to do something like that. So it doesn't mean, oh, look, Sam, you're afraid Sam, you're about to have a heart attack and you out of here. It doesn't mean that, but it does mean that that's something that needs to be watched because it happened. So that now becomes your baseline. And so depending on where your body is when you hit that whatever bump in the road is on your wellness journey, that's where you want to judge from. You want to judge from, oh, well, I eat, I'm eating pretty healthy, I do exercise, I do move, and don't underestimate healthy eating and exercise and moving your body. Like Coach Capri said, just walking, because I walk like daily. I mean, it's rarely a day that I don't walk. So, last week was like rough. If the weather's real bad, I kind of jump out in between because it don't, even when it's raining, it don't rain for 24 hours. So if I get tipped,
right.
I go out until I get rained on, I come back. And some people may be like, that's just too much. No, it's not. Because I need that. I really do. And it is for my mental too, because I love walking outside. Because
Exactly.
being on the treadmill, somebody else to do. We just
Yeah,
always
I'll
do.
find an indoor track
Yeah,
before
I
the
mean, I can do
treadmill.
that too. But then I be feeling like a hamster if it ain't big. So, or if it's not scenic, you ain't got no grass. I'll take turf. Give me some turf. But I
Yeah.
mean, but I use whatever I have. When I was younger, it took me years to realize why I did not like the treadmill. It was just like I just didn't like it. Now, if I have to use it, of course, I'm going to use it. Would that be my first piece of equipment I pick? Absolutely not. It's not going to be my first. But if I need to use it, but it was the whole like not going anywhere. I'm doing all the time.
Same. I
This is
can't just keep
before.
staring at this.
So
Like,
let
what
me
is
date myself
happening?
here. Let me date myself. This was before the TVs was up in the gym, and I mean,
Mm,
before you had the fancy pads on. I mean, this was like just a straight up machine with a big band, going. I'm like, this is terrible. But it took me a long time to realize that. And once I got to that point, to when I realized, like, you know what, my aunt, she needed one at the time. Like, you can have this. Like, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna get on
yeah.
my bike. But I got it because I was building my home gym. Because this is before Corona. This is like 20 some years ago because gyms are like nasty, like big gyms. But anyway, this is the days of, when it was Chicago Racquetball and Fitness Center and Valley, like way,
Yeah.
we're talking 20 some years ago. And so for me, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be able to do this, and people sweating and not wiping off machines. And I mean, it was just too much exchange for me. So I decided to build my home gym. And then that was my thing. The first thing I got, what you going to get? You're going to go get the big fancy treadmill. And so I got the treadmill and I started building my weight. But it was dreadful. It's the dread meal. It was really dreadful. And so when you all think about activities that you want to, I like to call them activity. They're just physical activity. So if you look at it in that sense, you're not so bogged down by the fact that it's exercise. Think about as kids. Once again, we ain't have all them tablets. We ain't have all that stuff in it. Because like kids today don't like to go outside. They go outside, they like standing around, like, what we gonna do? Be creative. If you like jumping rope, if you like hula hooping, if you like hopscotch, draw hopscotch on your sidewalk. We did it all the time with some chalk, and then the rain is gonna wash it away. Whatever you used to like to do as a kid, we had the lemon twist, and then it became the bop it. Did y'all have the bop it? Was it called bop it for you? The one on your
I
ankle?
think I've seen that. Yeah, it's super cute. Yeah.
It was lemon twist for us back in the 70s. It was called the lemon twist. So, but that's good cardio. You try to, and it is coordination, and it's balance because you got to jump over, lemon, and So whatever you had fun with, just engage in those physical activities and be consistent and mix it up. Now, my runners, y'all know I love y'all, but I don't be understanding it every day. Even though, look, this is gonna be the real weird part about it. But I can walk every day. It's like I don't
Yeah.
understand how you run every day. They're like, I don't understand how you walking every day. But I don't get that. I don't get that runner's high. I don't get that adrenaline. But when I'm out walking, even if I'm at a fast pace or if I'm at a moderate pace, it's just something about listening to nature's soundtrack. That's why, like,
Yeah.
I've had music, before, and then I have to think about, no, that's, really distract. I'll go in the park, like I'm in a small park, if I do, but not just walking down the street because you gotta keep your head on the swivel. You don't know what's going on. Now, if I'm on an indoor track, if it's really cold in the wintertime, I listen to podcasts, and I don't know. Have you heard of Sister Sukil? It's so good.
No.
Oh my God! So they do true crime stories.
Oh, okay, okay.
It's called
I
Sisters Who
should
Kill.
check that
I
out. I
gotta be
actually like
safe.
this.
I'm at the in the inside track listening to them because I mean you gotta be focused. And when they start talking about stuff, you looking around. Yeah, I can't listen to that on the street. I gotta be indoors,
Yeah.
completely, indoors. So that's what I do, when it comes time to me engaging in those activities. And walking it would be top notch for me. Walking will be my favorite. It will be my number one. It's the most accessible for me. I don't have to do a whole
Yeah.
lot. Just get the right shoes on, and get out. So when you think about your movement practice, if running is not your thing, don't engage in it like that. There are other ways you can get your cardio. I mean, the bike ride is not your thing, don't engage in it. And before you say, I used to be a top flight skateboarder, go to the little people, go to the little section, go to the bunny hill before you get back on your
Yeah.
skateboard. If that's, but skating is a good form of exercise. Just think about the things that you did that you had fun that you could do all day long and incorporate that as your exercise without it being so cumbersome for you to be able to do that. And you thinking, oh, well, I gotta do 50 squats, I have to do 50 squats. Well, you was squatting a lot, you was bending down, you had to pick up, what was it, jacks, or was it ropes, or was it hot squats? Like you were doing those kind of things. Your body was moving in all those different planes of motion that we do in our everyday, practical situation. We just didn't call it exercise. We were just playing. We were just
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah. I really like that you emphasize it. Just like, okay, what activities are you going to do to stay well?
Uh-huh.
Because many times, like the way it starts to become a chore in their life is because they haven't found much value and they haven't found like, what do I love about this? So walking being so easy for you, it's very easy for me too. I love walking. It's just because I had to find what I love about it. Like, yeah, I know that I'm exercising. I know that I'm keeping my heart healthy, my body well. but I love being able to see the different types of trees. I love being able to see, to hear the sound. And I'm a people watch. Okay, I'm gonna pay attention to y'all when I'm walking. When I'm walking, so like finding the part that you love about it is going to help you stay consistent with it. So find it. So if you used to dance all the time, find a dance program, like, or incorporate that into your wellness routine, so it's really well rounded. I think that your wellness routine should be well rounded. Like, do I disagree with people that only walk? No. But do I think that you can add in some strength training and resistance training to protect your bones? Absolutely, and to protect your muscle, because as we age, we lose muscle mass. So we need to make sure that we're one, eating properly to feel that, to feel how much you're moving. But when you start thinking of the activities that you can do to stay well, find a way to love it. Like, look for what you love about it.
Good stuff.
I like that a
So
lot.
in our last 10 minutes, let's talk about eating. Let's talk about eating the good stuff, the
Okay,
stuff we
cool.
love to do. So do you have to give up meat to lose weight?
Absolutely not. No. Do I think that I don't think that everyone needs to be meatless, but I do
Okay.
think that everyone can eat meatless.
Okay, say it again. Say it again for the people in the back.
Absolutely. I don't think that everyone needs to be meatless, but I do think that everyone can eat meatless.
So then what would be the substitute that, because for some people it's a texture thing.
Mhm.
Some people it's a taste thing. So what could be something that you could recommend where people can get protein from that could substitute at least somewhat that desire for meat?
Okay. Well, I know that tofu is a very acquired taste. However, if you marinate it right, y'all, it'll get you together. Right? At least a couple hours of marinated so that you have some flavor. Because when you have more flavor in your food, you're more likely to be satisfied. You're less likely to be like, I need something sweet when I'm done eating. So I would say, get a bowl, right? Like whether it's some brown rice or any type of quinoa, and add in veggies that you actually like. Like I really like green beans. I really like broccoli. So add in a couple of veggies that you really like, and then add in sources of protein that will pair well together, right? Like people don't really know that like green peas have protein in them, right? So add them in there, but then add in you know edamame, or add in your chickpeas so that you can increase the protein for that particular meal. But I would recommend, like, just, have you ever heard of like a kitchen sink salad?
Yes.
Just throw it in the bowl,
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Just throw it in the bowl, but like make sure you have foods that are live, right? So like get your greens, get those green peas in there, chop some green beans or broccoli if you want, um, get you some fuel, but like attempt, right? Attempt that tofu, attempt with some chickpeas, because you just add some garlic powder, onion powder, paprika, a little cayenne on them chickpeas, a little olive oil, toss them in the pan, chef's kiss.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
good.
Yes. Yes. So if you can give us maybe 2, 3 minutes about macronutrients, micronutrients, carbs, proteins, and fats.
Absolutely. Well, one, don't be afraid of carbs. The internet is lying to you. You can eat carbohydrates and you can stay well. It's not going to, just eating carbs one meal is not going to spike your blood sugar unless everything else that you are doing is just that you're eating is simply carbs. So I don't want you to be afraid of carbs. I know that that came from the Atkins diet in the 70s and all the things. So I want you to release yourself from that fear of eating carbohydrates, because our macronutrients, the macronutrients that we need for our body, are carbohydrates, protein, and fat. When your body is looking for fuel, it looks for carbohydrates. So if you're not eating enough carbohydrates, now it has to go to your fat, to your muscle. And it's like, well, I want you to keep your muscle, right? And so it's not going to eat the fat like you want it to. So the reason why it's called macronutrients is because macro means large. We need a large amount of protein, a large amount of carbohydrates, and a large amount of fat per day, because our micronutrients is our vitamins, minerals, and water. You need a lot of water, but you don't need, as much vitamin K, as you need protein. So I want to encourage you to just start your meals with protein. Like prioritize protein with every one of your meals, and then build the rest of your plate, the rest of your bowl, the rest of your wrap, the rest of your smoothie around the protein. For example, if you eat 3 times a day, start with, whether you like boiled eggs, you like, turkey, or you can just make a great smoothie. It's my favorite fast food. start with the protein powder that you like. Try, a plant protein, one that doesn't taste like chalk. And
That's
then
the
you
one I bought.
add and
That's
then
the
you
one I
add
bought. Yep.
in your veggies, right? So add in your carbs. So that could be, your carbs could be a banana, your carbs could be mango, your carbs could be pineapples, right? So and then you mix it with the fiber, so spinach, arugula. So do the same exact thing for lunch, and then repeat that again for dinner. So if you really like chicken breast, you know start your meal there, and then build the rest of what you're going to eat in that sitting around that particular protein, because we need protein in order for our body to function the way that you want it to function. Okay, because if you're not getting enough protein, you're going to be incredibly tired, right? Like, you're going to be incredibly hungry. Your cravings are going to be everywhere. You're probably going to get headaches, an attitude is possible, and I don't want that for you. So I want you to start. I really want you to begin, like, build your plates around the protein source that you are going to opt into, and then make the habit of drinking water with your meal. So if you're eating, drink some water. If you're having a snack, drink some water, because then that way it'll become innate, and it's like, wait a minute, where's my water? Like, so instead of bullying yourself and shaming yourself, it's like, I gotta drink all this water, I gotta get 100, I gotta, yeah, just start with, every single time you eat, let's have some water. And but the most important thing, though, is to remember that when you're eating, you're fueling your body, right? So, like, when we are talking about the activities of moving, right? Like, we need fuel to be able to do those things. We need fuel to be able to walk. We need fuel to be able to go on a bike ride. We need fuel to be able to dance in the living room. So when you start eating well, it's going to match your activity. You need it to match your activity level. So just constantly remind yourself that, like, I got to put gas in my car, but you are the car. Like, you are the Rolls Royce. Okay, like, you're not gonna put anything in your Rolls Royce.
Exactly.
So I want you to start doing that, but 80% of the time, though, 80% of the time, I think the issue with our community is that, you know we start to view green smoothies as just something that you do on the weekend. Like, you're proud of yourself, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna get a green smoothie, but I want that to be a part of your 80%. So 80% of what you're doing, 80% of what you're consuming, I want it to be nutrient dense. I want it to be free of oils and canola oils and vegetable oils and, all that other jazz. And then 20% of the time, 20% of your week, eat the cupcake. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be just fine. It's
Then
gonna be just fine. I
me and my
promise.
cookies.
I
Me and my
promise. Because if 80% of what you're doing is nutrient dense, and it's feeding your muscles, is right, it's feeding your brain, protecting your eyes, you're eating your carrots, you're eating, your lean proteins, and that 20%, it ain't gonna be a big deal. It's
yeah,
not gonna be a big deal.
just be consistent. Be
Yes.
consistent with it.
But the
Well,
be consistent. Oh,
go ahead.
my apologies. Go ahead,
No,
Coach.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think the be consistent is, I mean, we know how important this is, but don't try to bite off more than you can chew at one time. I want you to
Right.
eat the elephant one bite at a time. Neither one of us are telling you to go into your fridge right now and throw everything away. Like,
Because
not
food
your,
costs too much.
in this economy, like, don't throw your food away, right? So I want you to, consider, what can you add? Can you add veggies to dinner tonight? Absolutely. Can you add some protein to breakfast tomorrow morning? Absolutely. Instead of thinking, like, what can I take away, think about what you can add. You can add a walk after dinner. You can add, some broccoli or asparagus, to your plate tonight. And then just keep asking yourself that every day. What can I add? Instead of, like, what can I take away?
That's good stuff. That is good
Yeah.
stuff. Well, y'all, we got to wrap up our conversation. But what I want to say is what's on the horizon for me next week. I'm going to continue with my prayers up, weight down, and my 10-day green smoothie cleanse.
Woohoo.
I'll include all that information. So that's what's on the horizon for me for the week. And Coach Caprice, what's on the horizon for you for the next week? And then how can people contact you? And then we're done, y'all. Thanks for joining us. Okay, go ahead, Coach Caprice. What's on the horizon for you in the next week?
Absolutely. What's on the horizon for me is, I'm just going to continue challenging myself, because I've noticed that the more that I step outside of my comfort zone, I'm able to hear better, see better, like, just understand things better, and then I'm able to go and pour, because I can't tell. I'm not the type of coach that just tells people to do something I have never done. So
Right.
like if I'm telling you to challenge yourself, then I am for sure going to be finding ways that I can challenge myself. So that's all I'm gonna keep doing.
Okay.
And
And then
just
how can
keep
people
challenging
contact you?
myself. Absolutely. Coach Caprice, literally everywhere. So Cap Rice, spell it right. Amen. Coach Caprice, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I would love to be friends. Come hang out with me. It's a really good time. Okay. We make sure that we don't save self care for Saturday. And we focus on releasing weight, not just losing it. We focus on being fit for the calling on our life. So if that sounds like you, come hang out. Coach Caprice everywhere.
All right. Thank you so much, Coach Caprice. And thank you all for tuning in again to another episode of Self-FULLness Matters. And once again, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, and share this. This was some good stuff, y'all. Take it light. Peace. We out.